8 out of 10. New York, the city that never sleeps, is home to over 25,000 bars and restaurants. There's something for everyone. Whether they're sipping a cocktail on a rooftop or tossing them back at the dive around the corner, New Yorkers spend a total average of $4.5 billion a year on booze. In a city this thirsty, the dream of opening a bar can be a very alluring prospect. Each year, hundreds of new bars and restaurants will throw their grand opening parties, all while hundreds of other establishments will be closing their doors for the last time. Within 5 years of opening a bar, what are the odds of failure? 8 out of 10. Owning one of these bars is exhilarating, stressful, hyperactive, and intoxicating. With razor-thin margins and colossal competition, every day is crunch time. Inflated rents, taxes, labor, and operating costs put many independent establishments only a few mishaps away from bankruptcy. With these risks in mind, you're left with a select few brave or foolish enough to take the plunge.
China says the number of people infected by a mysterious respiratory virus has more than tripled over the weekend.
I am officially declaring a national emergency.
I was very serious. I wasn't joking.
The number of deaths, they rose very sharply, then fell down in the summer.
If you go and look at what's happened to New York, it's a ghost town.
Responsible for just over 1.4% of the COVID-19.
Hundreds of workers marched in solidarity with the New York City Restaurant Association.
And I was getting worried that all the places I love were going to go out of business.
What kind of person or personality does it take to open a bar? It is a mischievous daredevil.
I would say that you need to be passionate, first off. You need to have that creative part of you.
So you don't own a bar, you don't work in a bar just because you want to have a bar. It's because you're driven to it, you know.
And this has always been an industry for people that are kind of hustlers and grinders. It's never been easy.
It's something that you do because you love.
Only a few months into 2020, and one of the worst pandemics of the century hits the world and puts so many people out of work. After the initial quarantine, we ventured across the city and were hit with the harsh reality that this would be a very difficult year, especially for the hospitality industry. Thousands of bars have been affected, and the stories are overwhelming. Within our research, we found that these 4 bars, all within a mile of each other, are a microcosm for a larger picture painted on the world. Although our journey started 10 months ago, this story begins even earlier in the East Village. In October of 2018, Travis Odegaard and Azar Rob sit at their local watering hole and talk of the future. A plan starts to form. They're going to open their own bar. There are millions of ways to do it, some right, many wrong. To make it in this marketplace, Travis and Azar will need to learn to balance the science of business, art, in an industry governed by innovation, consistency, and reputation. Almost a year later, there are new signs of life starting in the East Village.
Hi guys, welcome inside of the Pineapple Club. Every room has its own kind of vibe and distinct identity. This room is the living room. It's got a nice tropical vibe to it, as does the whole space. But in here, we've got all of these lush pink banquettes, very, very comfortable, easy to spend a couple hours here. And like I said, it feels like someone's living room was the inspiration behind this one. Welcome to room 2. This is the balcony. We have a fully enclosed glass atrium. The sunlight feeds the plants. These are real plants. I water them twice a week, my children. Plants. It overlooks the downstairs dining room, and it's just a beautiful area here in the Pineapple Club. Awesome guys, welcome to room number 3. This is the atrium. It has this beautiful lighting structure behind us, has a really great feel to it, late night especially. Again, we've got the custom murals that also double as sound panels and the overhanging plants. And you just get to look up into the big, beautiful sky. Everyone kind of put a little piece of themselves in this room. I have my vinyl collection over here. This is Matt's turntable. And then when I bring you into the library, you'll get to see a little more of our unique touches to the space. Hey guys, welcome to the final room. This is the library. Every knickknack in here was hand curated. A lot of it came out of my personal collection and everyone else that worked here. This room also doubles as a storage space because we've got enough rum to fill a pirate ship. And super excited to have you here. Thanks for coming, guys.
I think that the space often dictates to you what the bar is going to be. If you try and cram a square peg into a round hole, I think you're going to be up against it the whole time you're there. Location, on the other hand, is paramount.
New York City's food and beverage landscape is fierce, encompassing 259 different neighborhoods, each with its own style, culture, and expectations. Successful bar owners know that location is critical, and designing a successful concept starts with understanding your local market.
I had always wanted to do a project in East Village. My grandparents were from East Village, and in addition to that, there's such a rich cocktail culture here.
You have some of the bests, some of my favorites, Death & Co., Please Don't Tell, Pouring Ribbons.
You know, it doesn't have a name like the Garment District or the Diamond District, but this is the cocktail and restaurant district.
People come to this neighborhood.
If hopeful owners somehow manage to find the right space in the right neighborhood, they'll need to develop their vision. With competition being so ferocious, it is crucial to have a clear, defining message that stands out from the pack. Confusing concepts crumble as patrons leave scratching their head, never to return.
So a little bit about why we chose the name The Pineapple Club. The pineapple is the international symbol for hospitality. In addition to that, I feel like it has really strong branding, and people associate pineapples with kind of a tropical vibe and a beach vacation, and that's kind of what we wanted to embody with what we were doing.
It's interesting, you have to really hone it in from everything from you know, your color scheme to your font, your company culture, your decor, your music, the ambiance, the menu, the clientele. So all that has to kind of fit, but you want it to be uniform so that you go Pineapple Club New York, you know you're at the Pineapple Club. Pineapple Club Miami, you know you're at Pineapple Club. You know, wherever you are, you walk into the space, you know you're at a Pineapple Club.
The menus are done, the space is built out, and a clear idea has been carved. Everything seems to be falling into place as a dream takes shape into a reality, but an unpredictable hurdle lurks from across the world.
The problem is that this is an evolving situation.
Tonight, the Chinese city of Wuhan and nearby towns locked down.
The Kerala government has imposed a statewide lockdown.
European Union leaders have agreed on a 30-day ban on travelers.
Italy is the hardest hit outside of China.
South Africa is struggling to adapt to some of the toughest restrictions in the world.
And Russia has closed its borders in a bid to slow the spread of the coronavirus.
Right now in the United States, the situation still is a low risk for the American public, but then again, that could change.
While nations scramble to get a hold of this novel virus by closing and shutting down borders, fear and uncertainty spread as fast as the virus itself. There's only one obstacle to go before Pineapple Club can showcase its vision to the public. No matter the concept, whether speakeasy or a new age tiki bar, the SLA is a necessary and undoubtable step for all.
So I've opened several restaurants before this. This is the hardest opening I've ever done in my life. We've been fighting our liquor license for a really long time, and it's been pushed back, but then we had like another hiccup, and we had to fight for this liquor license. And we fought tooth and nail to get it back, and the day we got the liquor license, they closed the restaurants.
"9 a.m. on Tuesday, all bars across the city of New York will be closed unless they serve food, and even in that case, it's takeout only."
Oh my God. My first concern legitimately was that nobody was reanimating. There's no zombies coming back to life. But you know, as we sat with fellow peers in the restaurant industry, we're all like looking at everyone, looking at everything and saying like, this has never happened before, so what do we do?
I mean, initially, regarding coronavirus, we had no real idea what was going on. You know, I posted on our social media, you know, voicing that, like, you know, hospitality industry is well versed in the notion of keeping things clean and washing our hands. And, you know, I said, you know, if you feel safe, we're still open, come on out. And about 5 days after I put that post up is when the government said we had to close. And we actually made the decision to close even 1 day prior to that.
Our first thoughts was really just sort of uncertainty, right? Like, we didn't know what was going on. There weren't really reliable sources of information in terms of what was going on or what was going to happen.
When I first found out about it, I found out that restaurants and bars were 50% less in capacity.
We started shutting down at like 2 instead of 4 a.m.s. I didn't even think that would happen. We were supposed to do the 50% capacity. We didn't even come close to reaching that.
It was really just kind of it was a bit of a scramble.
Next thing I know, it's going to be my last shift. And I had no idea how I was going to pay for rent or groceries or take care of my father.
Our staff and their livelihoods were like really one of the first things we considered in our decision to close, but you know, when it became clear that this wasn't something that was just going to blow over, is when we decided to really, you know, try to do the responsible thing.
As numbers spike to 814 confirmed cases, the severity of the virus becomes apparent, and small business owners across the city begin to feel the dread of an extended shutdown. Stay-at-home orders reveal an unusual and unsettling version of the city that never sleeps. The iconic city that symbolizes commerce and embraces a culture of a hustle-first mentality is brought to a screeching halt.
What I see is like a lot of people are going to go out of business. The soul and heart of our industry is social interaction, so that's something we can't do anymore. So now we're going to have to reinvent that area, you know, and like for how long or how things are going to play. It's going to change, I think, very rapidly. And it's going to require for bar owners to be on top of the wave, you know.
You know, we had to sit down and really think about how we were going to pivot our business to survive this. You know, definitely challenging to come up with new ways to get our product out to people, and we're super proud of our cocktails. But how do we portray the same vibe that we were going for without letting people inside?
So we'll have to figure out, you know, what a reopening looks like and kind of figure out what we have to do as far as compliance with the government goes. But it's looking like this could last a few weeks, maybe even a few months.
A landmark day here in New York. After nearly 3 months of stay-at-home orders, the city is entering phase 1 of reopening.
Officials estimate 400,000 New Yorkers will return to work today.
New York City relaxed its stance on cocktails and beverages to go, so it's called off-premise, right? Normally off-premise is from a liquor store, and on-premise is at a bar, right? You drink it on-premise, you drink it off-premise. So we can now sell cocktails and actually liquor, so I can function as a liquor store. If you want to come in and have an Amaro by the glass with me, and then you like that Amaro, I can now sell you that bottle to go, as well as I can sell you cocktails or what have you.
And I think that's actually something it's going to be here to stay. As long as they allow us to sell cocktails to go, people are going to do that very often. You know, instead of going to a liquor store, you can just get a bottle of a cocktail and take it home, you know.
It looks like the government is going to let this go on for 2 years past the date of 100% capacity. So once we get all the way back to where we're allowed to be at 100% capacity again, which we still won't because consumer confidence is going to be pretty low, Once we get to the place where we're allowed that, the clock starts ticking, and it looks like the government's going to let us do that for 2 years, which will be, frankly, a lifeline for a lot of smaller bars.
The difficult thing is it's hard. You know, we are living right now in this moment that we don't know what's going to happen next. Like this month, we are in May. We need to wait until June, July, maybe in September, we want to know what's going on. But at the moment, it looks very dark. We don't know if we're going to keep open the doors. We don't know when we're going to bring the whole family, the whole staff to work as before. So, you know, I'm just thinking like what we're going to do, what is going to be next month, next week. The sales, you know, went down, right? We got the help, yes. But what about after that? After we, you know, the PPP and all this stuff, after that is over, what we want to do?
In April 2020, the U.S. government rolls out the Paycheck Protection Program as part of the CARES Act. The PPP is a $669 billion economic relief package designed to give loans to small businesses that allows them to continue paying employees and cover expenses like rent and utilities. Although a potential lifeline, operators approach this option with caution, and rightfully so.
If you meet very stringent guidelines, the principal of that loan or portions of it can be forgiven as a grant.
But if you don't fulfill all the requirements, maybe instead of the 70% of the loan being a grant, it will go into 50%.
In a lot of ways, they come off as a little bit of a trap. We made the decision to go with the PPP loan, and we did get one. But even that is a precarious line. At its face, it's a loan. Well, we're already facing financial burden of having not taken in any real revenue to speak of for 3 months. So a loan isn't the fix.
Were we to go for that, we'd essentially, in order for us to get that loan forgiven, we would need to rehire the equivalent of our prior full-time staff, but without any prospect of them making nearly the money that they were before, much less like the money that they're currently making on unemployment.
We're trying to figure out some workarounds, but it doesn't look hopeful.
So before the lockdown, there was already a multitude of obstacles getting this place up and running. I remember, you know, waking up in the morning and thinking, fuck, am I going to make this happen? Is this even going to move forward, or is it going to stall out and die before it even started? So that was an incredibly stressful time. But nothing will stop us. The entire team here, you know, feels strongly that there is no plan B. And so we decided to open up the window, put our little adult lemonade stand out, and then throw down turf, play music, and kind of recreate the vibe that we have inside, but this time outside, you know, because it's very important to convey your message and your concept, even if it's just through a to-go window.
For a lot of places, I don't think it'll make a tremendous difference, but for smaller places that have a following like my bar does, to be able to come and get things to take home and enjoy the experience at home, that's going to be a lifeline.
To be honest, if someone of us gets sick, we're gonna need to close. So it doesn't matter like selling cocktails and food to go. If someone gets sick, you know, we have the obligation to be safe and go to quarantine again.
Good morning, everybody. Today we have some good news.
Today, New York Governor Cuomo officially okayed the city's move to phase 2.
The boards are coming down, the tables are going up.
I was stunned how many people are going up to a door, ordering their drink, and then just plopping down on the curbs.
They're planning to close dozens of miles of streets so outdoor dining can spill from the sidewalks into parking spots.
You know, just making it presentable for our guests here, baby.
The outdoor dining is, you know, a game changer. Obviously, it's nice because we can actually do food instead of just to go, which is great. Yeah, the to-go thing was I would say a mega failure on like our part. I guess unless you're doing like all ready to go food, like Chinese food or like pizza, things like that travel well. You know, it's kind of mind-racking to think of like what we would do to go for like our concept, because it wasn't ever meant to be to-go food. So that's a challenge. But now the tables will be like, you know, we get to do the food that we wanted to do, which is nice. It's a start, and hopefully we can pick up the amount of people that is necessary to like justify having a kitchen, so that'd be great.
So phase 2 is here. We finally opened outside. Very excited, very excited. I think things are gonna go really, really well. For what we've done so far, working the patio, I think it's gonna have a very good response by patrons. People are coming back. Actually, slightly better than I thought. Although our sales have been affected greatly, I would say a drop on about 80% on sales. But so far, if we keep on going this way, we'll be able to survive and you know, pay the bills, which is nowadays a privilege.
As people begin to embrace the outdoor experience, bars and restaurants see a glimmer of hope. The uptick in revenue provides some relief, but the reliance on outdoor seating provides challenges of its own. Bars that previously had no outdoor seating scramble to put together the structures and systems necessary to adapt to the new business model while following the strict government regulations. With the new revenue stream to keep them afloat, Pineapple Club looks to the future, revisits their original pre-COVID plan and hopes that their actions will successfully carry them over into phase 3, indoor dining.
No, some of the changes that we had to make was obviously going back to the original plan of the menu and start to like reincorporate the dishes that we had started like back in November, December, when we thought we were going to open originally, to do like the original seated dining concept, and obviously we couldn't for a while, so now it's nice to get back to like people getting plates of food and sitting down and enjoying.
I was able to just go to a restaurant for the first time in about 3 months since this whole thing. We sat outside. It was great. It was a little different, but that's why we got in this industry. We like dining. We like the magic that a table brings together. You can have a group of 10 people. You put a bunch of food out and you put them at a table, and there's just this magic that happens.
The food thing is actually, it's pretty cool, because although our sales and cocktails dropped greatly, we actually sell more food than we were last year at this time, which is it's pretty interesting, And we're looking forward to opening inside as soon as possible. Oh, it's fucking awesome, bro. Oh my God. It's supreme. You guys don't want any of this, right?
It's actually, the outdoor dining is kind of nice because it's sort of like France, or in Europe they have like the outdoor bistros, which is kind of cool. And New York never really had anything like that, which is kind of cool, at least to this degree.
Unlike the European street side, New York City's new aesthetic comes with a long and frequently changing list of legal requirements. Distancing tables and mask requirements are only a piece of the puzzle. What is deemed as a substantial amount of food has been debated and altered, as well as the changing regulations for the barriers along the street. Operators are forced to spend thousands of dollars to keep up with compliance to city and state regulations.
Your frontage of your shop can be taken over and used as seating. You have to build stanchions, and there's all kinds of rules and guidelines. But you could do it without even having a permit. You were supposed to apply for the permit, but go ahead and move forward. As long as you applied, you were good, which we did right away. We built the stanchions. About less than 2 weeks later, they came out with new regulations, so we had to rebuild them, so that was a second expense. Once we rebuilt them, they came and checked them a third time and said we still missed the mark, so we had to do a little bit of futzing with it there. Overall, for us, it's been roughly 4 times labor cost, and we're taking in about a quarter of revenue. So that's a piece of math that simply doesn't work. Effectively, we've been still surviving off of our loans, taking in, you know, what we see as enough money to pay the rent, and taking a loss on the rest.
New York City is preparing for phase 3 reopening tomorrow.
New York is now among 20 states hitting the brakes on reopening as cases rise in more than half the country.
What's not opening? Indoor dining at restaurants in New York City.
The mayor and governor delivered the bad news this morning, despite undeniable success at beating back coronavirus.
So this might be my first highball of the day, but it certainly won't be my last.
Phase 3, indoor dining, got delayed again, and then got curtailed to, instead of 50% allowability, 25%. And I don't know who that's helping. I haven't spoken to a single operator that says that that's doing much, if anything, for them.
It's hard. It's hard getting out of bed every day and you know, opening the bar, not knowing if we'll be here in a year or in a few months. Really, it just it takes its toll, you know. Can I order some food, please?
Yes, of course.
May I have one love roll, please?
Absolutely.
I feel like, you know, being in an enclosed space, having you know, to breathe sort of recycled air, I think the risk is elevated considerably. So for me, honestly, it was a bit of a relief. I think it's been cool that they have given us the olive branch of being able to seat outdoors. Unfortunately for us, like we have a bus lane in front of our space, so we can't take a street footprint. So that kind of minimizes, the throttles like our capacity considerably. That's sake ikurodon. It's like marinated salmon and salmon roe over like sushi rice with seaweed and like some toasted sesame and skipjack tuna. It's great. It's one of those things that's just delicious and it won't weigh you down.
Historically, pandemics always have a second wave. Historically, the second wave is always larger than the first wave. So, you know, we're kind of just bracing for the notion that we're going to get shut down again, which I don't look forward to, but I won't mind it if governance will step in and take care of citizens.
Social programs and sort of governmental relief, we're like bottom of the barrel. There was like, you see someone as controversial a figure as Boris Johnson in London, he's galvanized their local government to actually take steps that might help save some local businesses, whereas here it's fucking, we're nothing. We're and not to be crass, we're all stuck here with our fucking. Yes, that is the. I was like, yeah, I feel like maybe that's not like the most gender neutral phraseology, but like, yeah, but we're all fucked. Well, we're all standing here with our thumbs in our ass. Everybody's got an ass, right?
In the United States' partisan political landscape, tensions rise across the nation due to the government's unclear and conflicted response to COVID-19. As lawmakers use the pandemic to stage a political pissing match, small business owners are left feeling a lack of any substantial support.
Tonight, with a mounting national chorus decrying police brutality against black Americans, there's a new call for deep structural reform of policing across the country.
It's been 4 months as Mother of Pearl closes doors, but with a different approach to the PPP loan, things are starting to look a little different on Sticks and Avenue A.
Yeah, what can you see? Just nothing really. So yeah, we were in this space before talking, and now we're back, and plenty has changed. We used a good portion of the loans that we acquired to transform this space into what is effectively going to, in the end, going to be a second Amor y Amargo. This is going to have a wall here, and this space here is going to be retail. But we're expanding retail like crazy. So obvious things that are adding: bottle cocktails to go. Not so obvious: Bitters roasted peanuts, Amor y Amargo brand in a can. Right here in the center will be a big door that leads into here, which we're trying to make into, see, it's kind of the same size, another Amor y Amargo. So now you've got your more, I don't know if you want to call it serious, but you're more like, regimented Amor y Amargo, you're way more loose Amor y Amargo, and a retail store. Many places especially in New York, were kind of stymied by the notion that you had to use 75% of your PPP loan to pay wages, and only 25% could go to any outstanding bills up to and including rent. And that really hurt a lot of people. A lot of people had to deny the loan, just not take it because they couldn't spend it in the correct way. And this is to make the loan be a grant, right? You can take the loan and spend it however you like, but then it's a loan. You have to pay it back, and there is some interest, very small, but still some interest. We couldn't afford to pay even that small interest, so we hired a construction crew, and we put them on our payroll so that they work directly for us instead of being a contractor, which is what literally construction people are, contractors. But we put them on payroll so that we could use our PPP loan to pay them to do the job.
While Amor y Amargo fights to keep its head above water, New Yorkers watch as a record number of bar and restaurant owners make the decision to close their doors.
Right now, it's just, there's still I feel like it's the worst yet to come. We're still in the beginning of everyone closing and everything, because God knows what's going to happen this winter and how it's going to treat us. But for a lot of places that are closing, it's like a good exit strategy, considering where the lease is, how many years they have left on that, and especially without that personal liability, it's kind of decent moment to walk out. I don't think that every single place that closed, those people getting burned out and leaving hospitality for good, I feel like they're going to come up with different concepts, and it's all going to come back in the next 1-2 years. But I mean, it's horrible. Like, New York used to be known for all that bar, restaurant scene, and now we just scrambling on the sidewalks.
So, dude, you guys have been doing a lot of pop-ups.
Yeah, we're trying to kind of make the most of the space for now. Post-COVID, I'm doing less than 10% of my grocery sales per month, so it's been rough. And so we haven't been able to kind of reach any sort of agreement with our landlord. So we figured come September, we're gonna put things into storage, and then lay low for a little bit.
I just read an article in Eater as to why landlords wouldn't give you a break on rent during these times, because when you leave, the space is going to sit empty for years.
Yeah.
So it would just make sense and be in everyone's best interest if you would reach an agreement with you. But if not, grab your stuff and open somewhere else.
I feel like in the absence of a really big place to spread out, it's been challenging to rationalize paying the rent that we pay. You know what I mean?
Hey, Marvo? So we weren't able to work it out. We're not gonna reopen the bar. Yeah, I mean, we've been, trying to sort something out, but we're gonna have to shut it down. I mean, so we're gonna have our last day, we're gonna have our last day next weekend. So, I mean, if you could be there, that'd be amazing. But yeah, that's all she wrote. Okay, thanks. Bye.
New York City can move into phase 4.
But unlike the rest of the state, phase 4 looks a lot different for the city. Malls, museums, and indoor dining will not resume.
More than 77,000 stores, or roughly 1/3 of the city's 230,000 small businesses, could be gone forever before the pandemic ends, according to a new study.
Yeah, I heard about the closing of Black Emperor. To do everything right and have everyone around you look at this place as a staple and a pillar in the community and have it ripped apart, it's devastating. It's not just that Ben lost his business, it's the community lost Black Emperor. You can't tell your friend that you want to meet them there, or you want to spend some time with them and make memories at this place, because it just doesn't exist. And I think that's something that's really overlooked. You know, the hospitality industry is crumbling every fucking day without any government support. People need to understand how much is at stake for so many different individuals when you have a business shuttered stores.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I mean, like, the decision to close was really the only logical option we had given our circumstances. But the process of closing proved to be a lot more arduous than I'd anticipated. A lot of it, I think, had to do with sort of, your mental state. We were pretty burnt out from, working, trying to make it work from May on. And, it's like taking apart a bar is not nearly as fun as building one, So there's a little more dread, a little more fatigue than excitement and sort of like anticipation. So, it's already October and we're still here. Yeah, there's been a lot.
Hey, my name is Ben. I operate a bar, but we're closing. I wanted to make sure we didn't have an outstanding balance and that our credit our credit agreement was ended.
It took a lot longer and it was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it's so sad to hear like more and more restaurants and bars are closing, but especially when you know the people behind them, when you know the team.
So yeah, Black Emperor is another one of those really sad stories about this whole situation. One of my favorite bars in New York by far. Ben, animal, super humble guy, and I can't really think of many people that deserve to have their own bar besides him. And like I said, that's one of the sad things that happened.
Our very last day, that Monday, we were breaking down some things inside. We had some staff sort of helping us. It wasn't just me and John, which was nice. So within an hour of opening, the SLA came by, gave us like a citation, or essentially told us that our liquor license was suspended on the basis of, I don't know, there are two people had their drinks, were waiting for their friends, and I guess one of them like took a sip before they were seated while they were standing waiting for their friends. The SLA got that on, took a picture and told us pretty much immediately that we were shut down. To have it happen on like our last day, and it seemed like a little more, I mean, I'm pretty cynical about it, but it seemed like a little more than a fundraiser for the SLA. Yeah, it was like a little bit of a slap in the face, or really kind of like a spitting on the grave of the bar.
I don't know. My problem is I like people. I like talking to people. I like being around people. I like the social aspect of it. I like making drinks. I like alcohol, you know? It's like there's things about this business that I love. I don't know. The business I love has kind of vanished. All this COVID stuff, you don't know what to believe anymore. Like I've heard so many different things from so many different people. This expert to that expert to this expert to that expert. But no, not one person is given like an answer. Not safe to be open, but then you get on an airplane. You know, government says it's not safe for me to open, but you get on an airplane. You can sit, you know, it's like this organized lies. Like it's like I'm in trouble because I want to serve people out front, but then other bars have tons and tons and tons of seating, and they're all sitting together. Hundreds of people are sitting together, and I get in trouble for 4 people sitting together. Oh, it's like God made this for me.
I thought sincerely at this point that I would be done with everything here by this point, but you know, there's still a ton to do.
If I ever open another bar, I want to use it again because they're hard to get. Yeah. All right.
There's a long checklist when it comes to closing a bar. Debts to be settled, deferred, equipment to be sold or put in storage, forms to be filled out and returned in a timely manner. Dismantling a dream is a monumental and tedious task, and sometimes even doing everything right isn't enough.
You know, we'd had no citations, no violations prior to Monday the 31st of August. And suddenly, you know, we're staring, if I ever want to reopen, I'm staring down the barrel of an undisclosed amount of money in the 5 figures to do so.
Today's the day that Black Emperor's lease ends. While they clear out the rest of the bar, Ben makes it a point to try and close this chapter on his terms.
I'm happy to have like a last toast with you guys in the space before I hand my keys in. You know, I don't know, it's kind of slim pickings at this point, but yeah, let's have a last drink. All right. Okay, so we got a little bit, fittingly, we've got a little bit left of fat whiskey. It's like our friends at Fat Buddha in the neighborhood, they're still giving them hell. So we can have one last toast in the space. So to y'all, I don't know. I guess we don't know what'll happen tomorrow, but we can do our damnedest in the meantime, right?
Black Emperor.
As certain journeys come to an end, others begin a new one. With the ups and downs of life and an unclear path, we still make choices that affect our futures. The crew at Pineapple Club have embarked on their journey together, and now Matt starts a different journey of his own.
Nicole's parents are planning to come up with her brother because Friday night I'm probably going to, if the wind is not too bad, bring Nicole up to the roof and ask her if she'll marry me.
Oh, wow. Oh, right.
I have a good excuse Friday. I'm going to say that we're going to like a pre-opening thing at some fancy restaurant.
All right, will do. I'm excited for you. I hope it all goes well.
Yeah, me too. I don't know if she has any idea.
Yeah.
I think she still...
No. Talking to Matt.
She still thinks her diamond is in the necklace, so...
What up?
Hey! Guess what? What? We're engaged! Thank you! Love you guys!
Love you guys!
Love you guys! Love you! Bye!
They are the lifeblood of New York City's neighborhoods.
Indoor dining returning to New York City today.
This is a huge day for city restaurants, finally allowed to restart indoor dining at 25% capacity.
And restaurants must follow some strict rules.
Owners tell me that indoor dining is the only way they can stay in business.
That will certainly help so many restaurants that have been struggling financially, but some owners are saying it's just not enough.
Maybe we open the books from like 5 to 7 and then walk 7 on. Staffing, we're gonna have to figure out staffing. We're gonna have to do a floor plan. We're gonna have to figure out like a room storage.
Yeah, we'll get it all done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take a day off next week. I'm too excited. Yeah.
We're not asking for a handout. We know what it is to work.
Hundreds of workers.
All over New York City, owners and staff make preparations for indoor dining. For the Pineapple Club, this is the first time they will be able to bring people inside to show off their space and the fruits of their labor. It's all hands on deck for the big day. Meanwhile, further downtown, Federico and the team over at Bar Belly are getting ready to reopen their doors as well.
Get in there, get in there. I need to 10 in the morning, making miracles happen.
We have a bright future. As long as things keep on moving the way they're going, we will keep on improving. We're always going to change. This whole winter it's a game of surviving, staying afloat, keeping our presence in the market, keeping our employees well taken care of. That's actually one of my main goals at all times.
I'm gonna try to do the inside so you can focus outside.
Okay, yeah.
I'll be here all night.
Okay.
And it should be pretty smooth. It's kind of cold today. I don't see anything happening. So yeah, inside we're just doing like social distancing right now. We also have like another 2 air purifiers coming in, so it's gonna be a total of 4. They're ready for 800 square feet, and we have wait lists on that with 2 of them. So we're just trying to make it as safe as possible.
We really don't know what's going to happen. If in 2 months from now they're going to shut us back down because the infection rates go up or not. But it is a bit of a challenge. It's a little difficult respecting the rules, because you know how it is. Sometimes people don't respect the rules. You know, it's like if you're sitting at a table, you don't need to wear your mask, but if you get up, you have to. So sometimes people will get up and walk to the bathroom and do things like that and not wear the mask. So you need to pretty much be on top of the patrons a lot more than you would before.
Dude, first day indoor dining. You know the fucking vibes. Let's fucking get it. I don't know what else to say, man. Let's fucking get it.
Damn it. More paperwork. Check it out. Table cleaning log. This is inside.
Okay.
Outside. Inside.
And so we fill this out. Do we fill this out? Oh, we
yeah,
fill
so
it out for every
after
table
someone
we
leaves, once you clean it, write your name, date and time.
We're as ready as we can be. Let's just see how it goes, and then we'll make adjustments as necessary. But looking good, Pop. Looking good.
Not really. Not really. A little reckless.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do the temperature gun, give him that to sign.
One person in the group needs to sign it. Everyone else, you just temperature gun.
98.6. Perfect specimen. That's good. That's good. What's the one? Is that too much?
Yeah, it's perfect. No, I think that color's perfect. I'm just gonna match your shirt perfectly.
B. Cheers, boys.
Okay,
Nice.
Ham, chin chin. Pineapples forever.
Let's fucking do it, dude.
Ah!
I'm good. As you all know, we went through a lot of hardship opening this restaurant. And it's just really exciting to have people inside and really enjoying the experience that we had set forth to provide for them.
At this point, it just feels like it's been like another life. It's been like almost 2 years. We like in a couple of months, we're gonna hit it like 2 years on the whole project.
What did I learn? I learned not to take life for granted, and I learned not to think that you have everything figured out, because even when you've gotten everything planned to the T, life's gonna throw curveballs at you.
It doesn't matter how well you're doing. We're literally doing excellent. We're killing it. We're $1.5 million a year bar. And we went from that to literally selling 20% of what we're doing. But I think resiliency is something that's very important in this business. As much as you can't give up.
You just need to be able to roll with the punches and have that attitude that nothing will stop you, no matter how insurmountable the odds may be. You just have to keep fighting for what you want every day.
We decided not to do indoor dining at Amore Margot, mainly based on space. 25% capacity allowance from the city would mean that we could only accommodate 2 people. So Amore Margot Reserve was our opportunity to save the bar. You have to understand that Amore Margot is located in a space that was formerly the dry storage, connected to the kitchen, connected to the bar that was out front. That bar was Mother of Pearl most recently. So we took the space and converted it into general store and reserve, where we seat currently a maximum of 8 people at a time due to the restrictions, and we do a multi-course snack and cocktail pairings with Amaro and bitters.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, super proud about how far we've come. Indoor dining at 25% was lovely. I hear that they're in talks with shutting it down next week, only outdoor. Obviously, just more obstacles and trials and tribulations to go through. We thought at this point we'd be at 50% capacity. Instead, it's gone the other way. Now it's 10 p.m. closure and outdoor dining only soon. So I just wanted to take this time to say thanks, guys, and we're just going to get through it.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
The only way, yeah. One day at a time, just keep pushing.
Definitely.
It's been a non-stop shit show.
Yeah. So there's still literally nothing but hard shit to go through, yeah. So definitely. Honestly, it just feels like another day at this point. You know, starting the project in 2020 was a great way to really get our feet wet into the bullshit that is life.
COVID-19 has been a hard hit on New York's hospitality industry. Hundreds of residents flee the city, and several iconic bars, restaurants, and music venues close their doors forever. The public debates whether New York City is dead or not, but for many, there's no debate. Even with rising case numbers, cold weather on the way, and a threat of another shutdown looming, the true believers keep fighting. They fight to survive, fight to keep the dream and the city they love alive. Bars are the third home for most New Yorkers, providing an escape from day-to-day life. Unfortunately, this year, that has been stripped away. With the vaccine rollout coming soon, we hope the government takes the necessary steps to provide support to countless operators and staff with multi-billion-dollar industry. There have been a lot of difficult decisions made in 2020, but we're certain New York City will bounce back to what it once was. Maybe even something greater, because after all,
Catch me somewhere on the east side, mobbing with my niggas. Morning train ride, dreaming of the sweet life. I need higher figures. A wise man once told me I can fly if I pull the trigger. Yeah, up on cold nights, drinking warm champagne. Thinking of how it all could change. I need my top down, feet up, 911, two-seater. Me and my mamacita, mamacita, mamacita. Picture me rolling, burnt out, all in. I got the keys to the game. I put that shit all on my name. I put that shit all in the truth. I lay it all down in the booth. No talking, just plotting the moves. And let that shit do what it do. Don't you let it get confused. And don't forget I pay my dues. Tell the news, tell the news.
Hi there. My name's Bennett. You can usually find me on Instagram, but I'm at the Buddha Bar today. I started bartending at the beginning of this quarantine, actually. I was a method of getting outside of someone's head. Quite literally, in fact, if you might want to say. And just kind of having fun with it. Wanted to bring a little bit of joy, make people laugh a little bit while we were all stuck at home and all staring at our phones. Thanks for joining us at Buddha Bar. Thanks for joining us at Buddha Bar. Remember to have fun. Always remember to have fun.